Hey boys! Today I'm going to be going over 10 vehicles that I believe every player should own in 2024 in Grand Theft Auto Online. Now a few of these vehicles are going to be fun to own, but most of them are going to be useful for you guys to own to get around to your businesses, to grind, and to protect yourself while you are in GTA Online. Now if you guys enjoyed this video, a like is of course appreciated. Let's try to get this one to 5,000 likes if we can, guys. Subscribe to my channel if you guys are new. We're so close to 200,000, and let's go ahead and get started with number 10. Now at number 10 we have the Vapid Stanier LE Cruiser coming in at $3,017,500 if you have the trade price unlocked for it, but if you don't, it's going to run you $4,690,000, which is a lot more, and I know it is super overpriced. There's no getting around that fact, but this vehicle is absolutely hilarious, and it is a ton of fun if you have friends to use it with, or even if you don't, you can role play with other players in GTA Online that you run into, and you'll have a pretty good time doing that as well. It's a lot of fun. We have been waiting for pretty much 10 years to get a police car that is purchasable in Grand Theft Auto Online, and the Stanier LE Cruiser definitely delivers for what we wanted. Now we do have the new Gauntlet Hellfire Interceptor coming out in the coming months here, so if you're watching this in the future, consider buying the Hellfire Interceptor over the Stanier LE Cruiser, depending on if it's better for the money for you. So keep that in mind, but for right now, I think the Stanier LE Cruiser is such a good vehicle, and it is something that we have wanted in online for about 10 years, so I'm thankful that we have it. That's it for number 10. Let's get into some more useful vehicles rather than fun. At number 9, we have the Karen Armored Kuruma coming in at $525,000 if you have the trade price, or $698,250 if you don't have the trade price. You're going to unlock that trade price by doing the Fleeca job. This is the first of the OG heists. You and one other player will need to do that, and then you can get the trade price, which is pretty good. Now this is the only car that is almost entirely bulletproof in Grand Theft Auto Online, which means it is a great purchase to make, especially if you are a lower level or even a higher level that wants to do contact missions or anything of the sort that involves NPCs and fighting them, because the Armored Kuruma is going to protect you extremely well, better than any other car in the entire game when it comes to small arms fire. It is very good for this. It's also pretty fast, and overall it's pretty good for what it attempts to do for players that own it. It's got a little bit of customization. Overall, very good vehicle, definitely one that is a must-own for 2024, in my opinion. The next up, this one might surprise some of you. This is the Oppressor Mark I, coming in at $2,067,900 if you have the trade price, or $2,750,000 if you don't have the trade price. Now, the reason this thing is on the list is seeing as how the Mark II now costs a whopping $6 million with the trade price, or $8 million without the trade price. I figured the Oppressor Mark I might actually suit a lot of people better just because of its severe drop in price in comparison to the Oppressor Mark II. Now, it is actually faster than the Mark II, but you do have to land every now and then to regain boost, and then you can take off again, which is kind of annoying, but it's also really fun in my opinion. And the only other problem that there will be with the Oppressor Mark I is that you will need to unlock the missiles through bunker research if you want to use them. However, if you just plan to use it as a quick way of getting from point A to point B and you don't really care about the missiles, then you can just purchase this thing for $2,750,000 if you don't have the trade price, and you can get around a lot faster than you actually can on the Oppressor Mark II, albeit it is a lot more dangerous because if you land on the ground and you hit something and you fall off, you might die. But I figure the Oppressor Mark I is actually a pretty good vehicle. It's definitely one to look into, especially if you don't want to purchase the Mark II for the new price, which is absolutely absurd. So that's it for the Oppressor Mark I. On to number 7. Alright, and at number 7 I have selected the Buzzard. The Buzzard for $1,750,000. I think this is a great pickup for early or late game players, depending on how you like to play the game. The Buzzard is incredible because not only is it a Pegasus vehicle, but it can also be spawned right beside you with the CEO Vehicles menu as long as you are registered as a CEO. Now this does allow you for very quick transportation that you can spawn in at a moment's notice, and it also does have homing missiles, as well as the highest damaging machine guns in the entire game, meaning that you can shred other vehicles, planes, or helicopters with the machine guns, and you can also launch homing missiles or non-homing missiles as well. And being that it is a Pegasus vehicle, you can call one through Pegasus, and then you can also spawn one through the CEO menu, and you can also take it to your hangar if you own one, so you can potentially have up to 3 of these active at one time. So if you play with friends and you're all new to the game or something like that, you can actually end up having 3 different buzzards for the simple purchase of just one. So I feel like the buzzard is a good pick. Obviously you could say the sparrow as well, but I feel like the buzzard, now that the Kasatka has been nerfed with the Cayo Perico heist, I think the buzzard honestly might be a better solution for most players. That's it for number 7. Let's talk about number 6. And at number 6, I have the Grotti Itali GTO Stinger TT coming in at $2,380,000, and if you have it available, the HSW upgrade is $1,418,000. So a little on the expensive side. However, this vehicle is extremely good for time trials. Whether you're on last gen or current gen, this vehicle will help you to get your time trials done in a hurry. With HSW, it tops out at about 170 miles per hour, which is insane. That is the fastest land vehicle in all of GTA Online. So you can get from point A to point B extremely quick with this thing. And even on last gen, being PC, Xbox One, or PS4, it maxes out at 132 miles per hour. So either way, it's going to get you to whatever destination you're trying to go for in a hurry. And this can definitely help you out with time trials. Also, it doubles as an Amani Tech vehicle, so you can put the missile lock-on jammer on it, as well as the oil slick proximity mine dropper and the armor plating upgrade. Overall, I feel like it is actually a very good vehicle, a lot better than it initially seemed when it first came out. At number 5, I've got the Kasatka submarine coming in at $2.2 million. Now, the Kasatka has many great features. You can, of course, launch the Cayo Perico heist, which is the #1 reason for owning it. You can also use it to find underwater treasure using the sonar system, and you can dock vehicles inside of it, from the Toreador Stromberg, or the mini submarine that is purchasable, or of course the Sparrow. Now you can also activate stealth mode on the Kasatka by going underneath the surface of the water, which is pretty cool, and you will be removed from the radar. Now the biggest problem that the Kasatka faces, and the reason that I've ranked it a little bit lower on the list, is because the Cayo Perico heist, which is the main reason to own the Kasatka, has been nerfed severely, meaning that you can earn a lot less money from the heist itself, meaning that you're not going to really pay this thing off nearly as quickly as you otherwise would have. And they haven't only nerfed the heist once, they've nerfed it like 3 times now, and it is basically a shell of what it used to be. I still think that Kasatka is a cool vehicle. I still think it's worth owning. I just don't know if it's worth buying to do the Cayo Perico heist, to be completely honest, anymore. It does deserve a spot on the list, but it can't be higher than number 5 in my opinion. Now, number 4, we have the Ocelot Virtue coming in at $2,235,000 or $2,980,000. However, you can also get this thing for free, and we're going to talk about that in just a second. This is the fastest and overall best Amani Tech car in the game, and it is available by completing the first and last dose missions to be had for free, which is insane. So you're gonna have to do those Drug Wars DLC missions in their entirety, and when you finish them, you will get a free Ocelot Virtue at the end. This thing has the fastest acceleration on last gen, meaning Xbox One, PS4, and PC, and it still holds up on new generation as well. Plus it has the armor plating upgrade and the oil slicks as well. It can take 6 homing missiles or RPGs with no armor plating upgrade, or can take 12 RPGs or 12 homing missiles with the armor plating upgrade on it. So it's very well armored. It's also got that missile lock-on jammer, of course, and the oil slick mines as well, as being the fastest car in the entire game, acceleration wise on last gen. So overall, pretty good vehicle, definitely deserving of being number 4 on the list. At number 3, I have selected the Akula, coming in at $3.7 million up to $4.5 million. This thing is a stealth mode helicopter, and it can be activated by pressing right on the D-pad or H on PC. The pilot gets access to bombs, as well as you can choose to equip either homing missiles or a 4-missile barrage, and you also get access to dual machine guns. So the pilot gets access to a whole ton of weapons, and the co-pilot gets access to an undermounted minigun, and it does have the option to upgrade it to a dual minigun for extra firepower. It can seat a total of 4 players, And with stealth mode, this is obviously pretty good because you can get 4 players around the map in complete stealth and nobody is going to know where you are. The Akula is also one of the faster helis in the game, and I think it is definitely worth owning for sure. At number 2, we have the Acid Lab for $750,000, and you're going to need an additional $250,000 for the equipment upgrade in order to make it the best that it can possibly be, and it is one of very few vehicles in the game that can actually directly make you money, because of course you're going to have the Acid Lab in the Brigade 6x6. Now you can unlock this by completing the first dose missions from the Los Santos Drug Wars DLC, and then, like I said a little bit earlier, if you complete the last dose missions on top of it, you get a free Ocelot Virtue. So, pretty good to do. You're then going to have to do 10 Dax Fooligan missions, which are awful, but they do pay decently. And once you've done that, you can put the equipment upgrade on this thing, and you can start to make a really good amount of money through the Acid product that the Acid Lab actually produces. It's also the second most armored vehicle in the entire game, so that is very handy. And that's it for number 2. Let's talk about the number 1 must-own vehicle for 2024. And of course, it is the F-160 Raju, coming in at $5.1 million to $6.8 million if you don't have the trade price. This is the best overall vehicle in Grand Theft Auto Online by a pretty big margin. It is a jet with stealth mode that accelerates faster than the Hydra and the Laser, the other 2 main fighter jets in GTA Online. It is equipped with dual explosive cannons, as well as homing missiles and free fire missiles, and it also has vertical takeoff and land, or VTOL mode, as well. This thing is absolutely insane. Of course, you can also upgrade it in your hangar and make it have different handling. You can upgrade the engine, and you can change the liveries as well as everything else that you can do to it. Very, very cool plane. Definitely the number 1 must-own vehicle for 2024 in Grand Theft Auto Online, at least in my opinion. Anyway, guys, that is it for the video. Let me know in the comment section down below what vehicles you would recommend owning for 2024. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, dislike if you didn't, of course. Subscribe to my channel if you guys are new and you enjoy what I make, and I will see you all in the next video. Until then, take care. Peace.